And now, as promised, Rikers Island. You can imagine life inside a maximum security prison. Here is the reality. News 4's Mary Civillo has our exclusive.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
At first, it looks like it could be a school dorm. Young men walking around pretty much where they want, doing what they want. But this is Rikers Island Maximum Security Prison, a prison filled with felons with remarkable freedom.
Why are they searched?
Because they're on the way to the mess hall, and we make sure that no one has weapons or shanks. How you feeling today?
Warden Janie Pollard took me on a tour of the prison, explained that while these inmates have been convicted of violent crimes in the past, they're here awaiting trial on new charges, must be treated as innocents. She took me into one cell block where inmates talked endlessly on the phone, no work required. From 5 a.m. to 11 p.m., all day long, they are out of their cells, hanging out, watching nonstop TV. Only 2 officers to 100 inmates.
They don't have correctional officers to monitor it, so the inmates are on a trustee system with their phone calls.
Yeah. But that's just one way fights can break out. Rarely a day goes by without riot gear.
Any minute, this calm, this routine can be interrupted.
Any time that you've needed to suit up in the 3 months or so that you've been here?
Oh, yes. Believe me.
Come on.
Yes, yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
How many times?
Quite a few times.
The sign on the gates to the cell block says no weapons, but it seems only the officers comply. Warden Pollard told me the inmates pry off prison trim for weapons, razor blades smuggled in their mouths.
How do you put a razor in your mouth?
Well, they put it right up here in the gums, or they sometimes swallow it in the part of their neck. They can spit it right out and then use the cut.
But if you're caught using a weapon, you lose all privilege, all resemblance of normal life.
Most of them are locked in. How are you today?
Warden Pollard took us into the solitary confinement unit, the so-called Bing. Here, inmates are locked up for 23 hours a day, round the clock in a 7-by-7-foot cell. This one is for adolescents like 17-year-old Jamal, arrested for toting guns, thrown in the Bing for a fight.
But what did you do wrong there to get here?
I got into an altercation.
How many days do you have to spend in here?
120.
120?
Yeah, but it's 4 months.
That must have been quite an altercation. Did you have like some kind of weapon or something?
Yeah, razor.
A razor? How'd you get the razor?
I ain't gonna say nothing about that.
And then, in the back, the worst offenders. Young inmates here can barely see out of their iron mesh cells. See, they're the ones who fling everything from feces to food at the officers.
Sure, you get hostile inmates who will throw food and stuff at staff through the bars, so then they're housed in these.
So why was this 49-year-old woman made warden for some of the state's toughest men? Combining the steel of a 20-year corrections veteran with the touch of a Christian minister she is, Pollard wins cooperation, like getting inmates to voluntarily clean up. As a reward to inmates who keep their blocks cleanest, Warden Pollard orders a fiesta, a rose cone pollo, rice and beans for lunch, and hours of affection for dessert. 4 hours to caress girlfriends and wives, to talk with their families. Normally, inmates are entitled to only 3 one-hour, closely monitored visits a week.
Since she's been warden, we've gotten a lot more privileges, and the institution has changed for the better.
Yeah.
Since she's been warden.
Well, a lot of people might say that if you do a lot of things for you guys, that you'll take advantage of it.
No.
In a bad way.
Basically, it falls on one hand, washes the other.
But to the outsider, life here looks scary, depressing. But most depressing was hearing how a 17-year-old boy accepts spending 4 months of his life, Thanksgiving, Christmas, in an iron box.
You know, it's all a part of growing up.
All a part of growing up for too many. And the cost to all of us, tremendous. 160 tax dollars